Justin Richards, and you're watching UDL TV.
I'm Jake Marani, and you're watching UDL TV.
Welcome into the first ever episode of UDL TV. They come in off hangovers.
My sources have never, ever been wrong before.
I think it'd be good for Rocco's legacy too, man.
And we would just see a complete shakeup at that point.
I'm Noah Mazzilli, and you're watching UDL TV.
I'm Kevin Donald, and you're watching UDL TV.
Clark wins it.
Check, baby. See you in the office.
I'm JT Bain, you're watching UDL TV.
You're watching UDL TV.
You're watching UDL TV. Welcome in to another episode of UDL TV. We are your hosts, Troy Costa and Brendan Schmerda DeAndre. That's Schmerda. How we feeling for season 6 coming up?
Season 6 is one of the hugest seasons of UDL. I feel like, we have new champions, we have new teams, and we have a lot of new stuff to tell you guys about.
Yeah, absolutely. So, obviously, we've had a lot of different teams come in, different types of partnerships. And I got two of my UDL All-Stars, two of my UDL champions coming on to help us break down some of these partnerships and figure out if these guys should be locks for next season or if they should break up. So we're titling this segment Locks or Not. So let me welcome right now two-time UDL champion Cam Green and the reigning MVP, and two-time UDL champion Noah Mazzilli.
Yes, sir.
How we doing, fellas?
What's going on, boys? How we doing?
What up, boys? What up, boys?
Great.
Doing fantastic.
Thank you.
So let's get right into it. I got some hard-hitting teams that maybe didn't have the best year last year, or maybe are just looking to spruce it up heading into next year. But you guys be the judge of that. So the first team I want to bring up is Reno and Brandon. Two guys that had a pretty nice year. It was their first season together. Cam, is that a team that you think should be staying together next season?
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's just the beginning of that team.
I agree.
And I really think that they have a lot of space to grow going forward as partners.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can definitely say that I agree as well. You have Reno coming off one of his stellar seasons, right? He gets a UDL award, MIP. So I feel like with having a solid partner like Brandon, they're both very good at, defense. They're both very good at offense. So, them two, if they can just stick it out for a whole entire season and come to every tourney, maybe they grab one of those championships that we're talking about.
Facts.
I also agree. I think that would be a lock. It should be. Me and Rocco were on the side. We played them a lot. Good games every time. Reno had his best year. They're a good team. I think they should definitely be together.
Facts. What about JT and Beretti? This is a team that's in their second season now together. They started strong at the beginning of the year, had a few injury problems. What do you think about that team? You think they should break up, or are you liking them for another run? Zilly, you give me start this one off for us.
That's a team that I'm not really too sure about. So you say their names and you think they're good, good. They have expectations, but the end of the season they started falling off a little bit. Like you said, they had a beginning of the season hot streak. I'd probably give it 3 tournaments, and if they keep playing the way they did at the end of the season at the first 3 tournaments this year, I'd probably not say a lock.
Wow. Cam, do you agree with them?
I don't know. I don't think they should break up. I like them together. They're boys. They have good chemistry. You go on those spells where you can't get going. Sometimes it's in a playoff game, and I have experience with that. You can't get going. You sometimes you just got to fight through the road, and I think that's what they're doing. They're trying to figure it out, and I think by tourney 3 they'll be 2 top 5 placements. Put it down. That's my hot take. 2 top 5 placements in the first 3 tourneys for Beretti and JT.
So we have a bold take there if I can.
How I
we
said
have
it.
a 50-50 split. So who's gonna do the break the tie here? Troy, you wanna break the tie? 50-50 split. Who you taking? Are you saying it's a lock, or are you saying it's not a lock?
I think I agree with Cam. But I also agree with Zill because he said give it a try for the first 3 tourneys, see how it goes.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't go well after those first 3 tourneys, I might be leaning the same way Zill is because, at that point, that's a lot of tourneys played together. But, I mean, if they do start with 2 top 5 finishes like Cam predicts, then 100% those dudes are locked in all season as they should be.
If they start off the season not hot, then it's going to end up being a long season for them if they don't turn it up.
Yeah, long, frustrating season.
It's better to start it off hot and then kind of cruise your way instead of fighting from behind the whole beginning and end of the season. It makes it a lot harder.
No, I agree with both of you guys as well, and I feel like, it's just going to have to – time will tell with them. I feel like it's not so set in stone, and they just have to, keep working at what they've been working on, and hopefully, it pays off.
Yeah.
I got another team for you. This one's a little trickier because we didn't see too much of this team as a squad this season, but we have seen them win a couple rings in the past, and that's Joe and Pat. Rumor is that Pat's going to be back this season, but we also did see Joe, who played pretty much a full season this past year with multiple different partners, and we saw him have success with whoever he played with, whether that be Darling with that finals appearance, whether that be Denal. So Joe and Pat, do you think that's a team that should stay as a lock for this upcoming season, or should they find different partners?
I would like to say they are a lock because when they show up, they are good and they're obviously friends, so it's good to see them there. But I'm going to lean more on the not lock, and I think it's going to be more Joe looking around for partners like he did last year.
I gotta disagree. I think if Pat's back and Joe is back, they gotta be a lock. You had one of the best.
Pat was supposed to be back
years.
last year.
That's true, but if he's saying he's back, and for right now, up until Tourney 1, I'd say that they're a lock. If he doesn't show up for Tourney 1, then obviously you can't stick around and wait for your partner to show up. But I think if they're both 100% committed and both coming back, you got to be a lock. You are one of the best teams your rookie year.
No, absolutely. I feel like, Joe and Pat, you guys are a staple in the UDL just off of your rookie season. If they come back and they stick together, they're absolutely a lock, like Cam is alluding to, because they're winners, right? Like you said, Cam, they're one of the best teams for a reason. So, if you're winners, that's a foolproof formula for success. So all you need to do is just keep going and just make these tourneys, Pat. I trust Pat's word, and I know he loves the league, and, I can't wait to see him, playing with Joe and, back in the groove of things. So, shout out to Joe and Pat.
Excited to see him.
Boys, we got 2 more squads for you to break down. The first one is a team that's a couple of OGs. These guys have been in the league since season 1. I'm talking Kamande and Fabiano.
Yeah.
We've seen both of them have success individually with various partners over their career. Mande had some nice runs with Ty early in their career. Fab and JT obviously did what they did.
Yep.
And they've been partners the past year, and it's been mixed results. They've had some nice moments, but they haven't really translated to too many wins. So Fab and Kamande, do you think that's a team that should be a lock or not?
Going off this past season, I mean, I feel like I've seen Mande play with a couple of different people, same with Fab. And I think if they're both going to consistently be there, I say you got to lock it up. I'd say they'd have to lock it up just because you don't want to show up and the partner that you're playing with this week isn't available. Let's say they're both available for 5 tournaments, 6 tournaments. I think you have to lock it up. I think it has to be a lock.
Zilly, you agree with that?
Nah, not really. I don't really think with them it depends on their availability, which is something you never know. So they're a team together that you can never really lock up. When they're together, obviously they're good. They're scrappy a team, but I wouldn't lock it up. I think maybe it would be kind of cool if they found some other partners, explored some things. You never know though. But God forbid if Bain and Beretti didn't work out, imagine a Bain and Kamande team. That would be something.
That'd be an electric squad.
Yeah, that'd actually be funny too because, Bain already ran. He has a lot of experience with Fabi. Almost won a ring, so they go team up with Fabi's spot and it'd be hilarious. So, yeah. All
right, boys. Finally, we have one more team to break down, and this one is a playoff squad once again. How about Denal and Mark? This is a second-year team that we saw this past season. They played really well together. Maybe 4 or 5 tourneys, and they made it to the playoffs with just half the tourneys that a lot of the guys did. And they're one of the flashiest teams we have in the league. Defensively, FIFA is good tossing. They're very fundamental. How do you feel about that team moving forward? They as good as they've been, they haven't yet been able to pick up that UDL championship. And we did see Janal go ahead and play with Kevin in the All-Star tourney, and they did win that together. So we've seen Janal have success with other guys. Should he break up with Mark? Should they move forward together one more season?
I think they should also be. That's a great question because they are a really good team, especially when they show up and they play. But I think they should be in the same bridge as Bain and Veretti. See how they go the first couple tournaments, and if they're going strong like they should, then I think they should be a lock.
Yeah, I think I agree with that, Zilly. I think that's a good point. I would like to argue that I feel with those two, they take Biz or 6 tourneys to really establish how, like, I feel early on they get a couple top 5 placements, maybe 1, maybe 2, but then they hit that lull. So I don't think the 3 games is a good. I think either they have to think we have to lock it up or we have to lock in with somebody else. Because I think they take too many tourneys to establish themselves as a playoff team with how crazy the playoffs have been with point spreads.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I can see that.
And we saw them in the playoffs almost pull off the upset against Lang and J-Rich. They were up game 1. Headed into game 2, they had two-game buffer to get the dub. Unfortunately, the Lang and J-Rich came in and handled business. But, I mean, that's always a team that's a threat to win it all. They just somehow haven't gotten to that point yet.
Yeah, I mean, I'd also like to add that to me, Mark and Janal are definitely one of those teams that are definitely slept on. I feel like they always perform in my eyes to like the best of their abilities, and that's what you want a team to do, is to just go out there and leave it all on the field, right? Janal's gonna leave with a couple bumps and bruises. Mark's gonna extend his arm like Jordan and Space Jam across the entire table. So that team's potential is just sky high, and I feel like if they were to really just lock in and practice before tourneys and play and just play dive with each other for an entire summer, they could definitely, like Troy said earlier, like probably end
they
up
are a
winning
good team.
tourney, if not.
Oh, definitely.
I remember when me and JT Bain played them for, it was like a 27-minute game in Fennell's backyard.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
It was insane. It was just only defense.
It's a
Just
great
all great
team.
hands all around. They are a good team. That's why I think you should keep it together.
Yeah, so I feel like the consensus, we've reached a consensus for once here. We got Janal and Mark as a team that's locked in for next year, so hopefully they can finally pull off the UDL championship that they've been looking for. But boys, appreciate you guys coming on this
Appreciate
morning.
it, boys.
We'll see you in
Absolutely.
a few months
Legends.
when season 6 gets underway.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Can't wait.
Coming for that back-to-back, baby.
Yeah, right. It's mine now.
Thanks again, boys.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
We'd now like to welcome on our 8-time UDL champion and our list specialist on these UDL TVs, Justin Richards. J-Rich, how we doing?
How we doing, J-Rich?
Doing well, guys. Doing well. Thanks for having me. How are you guys doing?
Thank you, man. Yeah, we're doing good, man. And, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. And I appreciate you coming on here and giving us one of your lists.
Yeah, absolutely. Not a problem.
Yeah, you know what time it is. We need another list from you, one of your infamous lists. This time, we're looking for your top 5 most underrated players in the UDL.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's dive right into this. Coming in at number 5, we're going to have Kamande. He recently just had the Comeback Player of the Year go to him. Another recent accolade of points per game. And he's been in the league for a long time. So I would say he is one of the most underrated players, coming in at number 5. Number 4, I would have to say that's Griff or Fennell. He's been an all-star for quite a few times now, but, doesn't always get a ton of recognition. So I would say he is, coming in on the list of underrated players there at number 4. So then let's move to number 3, Ty. He's been an all-star for quite a few times now, and he made playoffs and actually beat the 1 seed, if I can remember correctly. So, that also I want to, give some recognition there for him at the number 3 spot. Coming in for number 2 would be Mark Carmi. He only had 4 tourneys last year, but with that being said, he still made playoffs. Gave me and Lang a run for our money in the game when we faced him. So that's why I think he deserves the number 2 spot. So as we move into number 1, that's going to Andrew Reno. This guy has killed it recently. I think he's going to have a lot of potential coming into this next season, as he just earned Most Improved Player for last year's performance. So well done, Reno, and congrats on the number 1 spot for Most Underrated.
Yeah, Jairus, I think that was spot on. I like that list a lot. Honestly, I can't even say I have any disputes. Maybe I sneak in a name if I were to add an honorable mention. And he might not even be underrated, maybe just underappreciated, but I think that's Bigar. Brendan Garrity.
Nice.
Bigar is kind of in the shadows of Umbi. I think Umbi gets a lot of the hype, a lot of the recognition, a lot of the talk on the podcast. But Bigar's right there. He's won 3 championships just like Umbi has. And I just feel like when it comes to underrated, Bigar might even start sneaking into that category.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more with you as far as an honorable mention goes, because like you said, this is a very successful team, and really all you hear about for the most part is Umbi. So I like that. Bigar definitely, deserves a shout out, as a sneaky good player.
Yeah, I feel like BR is great, and you guys, you might need to be a little bit more quiet because you might start some, rumbling with that team if you keep saying BR is underrated. Because I feel like, yeah, you're right, he is underrated, but I like the word Troy used, underappreciated, and I feel like that's maybe one of the reasons why he, cracked this list, because David shows that BR got game. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Jay Rich, we really appreciate your time today. We'll see you soon on the next UDL TV for another one of your famous lists.
All right, thanks, guys. Take care.
Let's go.
Ah, are you kidding me? I hate this game.
Dude, eat a Snickers.
Why?
Because you're not yourself when you're hungry. Feeling better?
Yeah, I am. Let's play.
You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
Welcome back in from the commercial break. Now, Smyrna, as you know, only 4 guys can call themselves a 4-time UDL champion. And those guys are Lang and Jay Rich and Scott and Drew.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's a lot of guys that are really close. We got Rocco with 3.
Yep.
We got Umbi and Bigar with 3.
Yeah.
And then we have a couple teams and guys with 2. Like Joe and Pat, like myself, Cam and Roach. Zilly has 2.
Yes.
So let's bring on a couple of our guys to break down who they think is going to be the next 4-time champion.
Okay.
So let me welcome now your former UDL MVP, 2-time MVP, 8-time champion, Riley Lang.
Yeah.
What's going on, boys? How are you?
And let's welcome in Andrew Reno, our up-and-coming first-time All-Star from last season. Reno, how we doing?
I'm doing well. How about you boys?
Reigning MIP, Andrew Reno.
Ooh, reigning MIP. I like the sound of that.
Don't forget about that.
Yes, Zarski.
Now, boys, we were just saying that there's only been 4-time UDL champions. Lang, yourself included, as one of those guys. You have a record 8 UDL championships.
I am.
So you know firsthand how hard it is to win these rings. And we have so many guys that are close, on the cusp of getting their 4th. So I want to ask you guys who you think is going to be the next person to grab their 4th UDL championship. Lang, I'll let you go first.
I'm gonna go with either Bigar or Umbi. I think them two together are a very strong team. I would like to lean Rocco, but just with his injuries, sometimes him teaming up with Zill, who knows? I think Bigar and Umbi are going to be the next to get 4. I think they're a good, strong team, and if not this year, I mean it's going to be very soon.
Yeah,
I believe that. I also like how you first said Bigar or Umbi, because we know the both of them have tourneys without each other, and sometimes they like to mix it up. They like to stir the pot up. So you could say Bigar or Umbi. I'll let you go with that, but definitely Bigar and Umbi as a team have a chance. I want them to stick together. Hopefully they don't mix up too much pots this season. But yeah, I like how you said Bigar or Umbi. That was fun.
Reno, do you agree? You think they're the next 4-time champs?
See, I really wanted to go with Bigar and Umby. That's a great pick by Lang, but I am actually going to go with Rocco. Got a couple reasons why. One, if you remember back to last year, the bet between Cam and Roach and Rocco about the titles last year, Rocco came short on that. So that's definitely in his memory bank there. If you go through the list of the names you've just listed of who's coming up on 4, you know, in the 3 category, Rocco's definitely got the longest drought of a title, so he's well overdue. And I just think that, you know, you go to his backyard and you get those reps in during like the early spring. I don't think he's going to let a championship, you know, slide under his belt this year. So I think he gets one early. I could see it turning 1 or 2. And you know, that's just that. Like I said, I thought Bigar and Umby was a good pick, but it's hard to leave Rocco out there, you know. When healthy, one of the best players, top 5, no question, definitely top 3, and you know, if healthy, makes a good case for top 1. So we'll see what happens this year.
I definitely agree with you, and you know, I'm gonna say it. If the tourney's not at Umby's house, then I think Rocco has a great chance of taking, you know, the first tourney. But if it is at Umby's house, I would be scared because we all know what happens at Umby's house for Umby. Some
He
more
wins.
cooking nails.
He wins.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
But I agree with both of you guys. I think I just have to find out where the tourney is before I can make my bet, you know. But yeah, I agree with both of you guys.
Something in the air over at Umby's house.
There is something in the air
over
on
there.
this for sure. Yeah. And I like, Reno, how you mentioned that Rocco didn't. He has the longest drought since he's won a ring. He actually had his 3rd ring back in 2022. He won his 3rd ring, and he went a whole year without a ring. Granted, he had some injury problems throughout the season that kind of hindered his season a little bit. And they still did go to the top 3 in the playoff seed. So they were still one of the top teams for sure. But it is interesting that it's been a while for Rocco. So I agree. I think the hunger will be there for Rocco, and I think he could definitely pull it off early, if not the first tourney.
To be honest, if you guys was to ask me, I would say that I would take the dark horse here. I'd go Joe and Pat. Last time we saw Joe and Pat play an entire season, they took 2 tourneys. I mean, so the fact that they had 2, and Pat said he's coming back, and we saw the success that Joe had this year without Pat. And, you know, I feel like if they team up and they're consistent enough, that's a scary team. And I think they could easily get to that 4 mark because they've shown in the past that they can win multiple tourneys. So, you know, Joe and Pat is a dark horse that I feel like a lot of people should keep their eye on. If they're a consistent team and they make these tournaments and they actually, you know, play and show up, they have a great chance of being, you know, the first team to have, you know, 4 up there with Scott and Drew and Lang and J-Rich.
I like that. I like the Joe and Pat route. But just with the league and how it's becoming, it's so much harder to win 2 championships than it is to even just win 1.
Yeah, facts.
That's true.
It really is.
We haven't seen as many runs like we
two
used to.
2 in 1 season. I mean, if we want to flash back, and it'll forever haunt me. Alex said no one will win 3 championships in 1 season ever again, and that's been my goal ever since.
And it's been
2
true ever
is right
since.
before 3.
Yeah.
And he has been right ever since. There has yet to be another 3-time champs in a season.
Unless we count that playoff win.
We never count playoffs towards regular season. That's the Super Bowl. That's its own.
You guys have to listen to Lang on this one though.
I'll take that.
Experience. So if Lang says it's hard to get 2 championships now, he could tell you because he's gone to as many championships as, you know, you can count on 2 hands. You're gonna need a 3rd hand, right? So, you know, shout out to Langa, and you know, shout out to everyone else at home that is over here making their picks. But I feel like another team, Cam and Roach, definitely need to be talked about more. They're hot right now. So I know they lost.
Yeah, I don't know how that didn't enter the conversation once. It took very long to get to that point.
We'll leave them last season.
Yeah, Cam and Roach is definitely not a team to be slept on, and it was so hard for each of them to reach that point of being a UDL champion until it took them teaming up together, and now they have 2 under their belt. But going back to not winning UDL championships, I'm curious from you guys, who would you pick to be the next person to win their first? out of all the guys that maybe have been playing for a while and struggling to finally get to that point, who's your prediction to be the next first-time UDL champion?
That's a good question. I'll take the floor here. I think the safe answer, if you will, would be JT Beretti, because that's been the conversation on the block for a while. No disrespect to my guys, excuse me, but I'm gonna have to go. And I know somebody on this is gonna like this, but I'm gonna have to go Ty. What I saw out of Ty last year, I saw him take a leap. He became elite last year, and just like I said about Rocco earlier, in the drought, I think the commish drought might come to an end this year.
Yeah,
and he's definitely due for it.
We need that.
So,
I've been waiting on it.
And I played with Ty last year. He's a hell of a partner. He's gonna be laying out for every die. So not only do I think that, I would love to see that. So I'll be pulling for Ty and Commish this year.
My guy.
Get there
I like
first.
that. I like that.
Ty to get his first. We know that'd be third for Commish.
Lane, tell me you agree with that.
I could absolutely agree, and as he said it perfectly. I don't even want it. I would love to see it. I would love to see that.
Hey, as long as I don't run into you.
Just as a person who's been around the die table, he's been around forever, and that'd be an unreal first experience.
No, absolutely. I feel like I can already see Ty doing the Kobe Bryant celebration, throwing his hand in the air, full like stretched out like the Jordan logo. So I feel like, Troy and Ty, you guys had a great season last year. Troy almost got, that W with Denal. So, and with your chemistry that you built with Ty, I feel like going into next year, you don't have to, worry about who's your partner, right? You have your partner set in stone. And I feel like that's what a lot of people need, is the comfort and the consistency of a partner that's there for them every single play. So, that should lead to success for Troy and Ty, just for the fact that they've been with each other the whole season. They got that chemistry and they're locked in. So, for sure.
We need it. Lane, who's your pick? Is that your pick too, Ty, or you got someone else?
So this is going to be a little shot in the dark, and it might catch a couple people off guard. But I'm going to go with Darling.
Ooh.
I think Darling has proved to many people that he can bring someone to the championship by himself. If he found a partner that could pick him up where he kind of falls apart a little bit, I think he could easily win his first ring in this upcoming season.
I like that.
I could definitely see that. I mean, we saw what you did with Joe, and that was the first time they had met each other was that day. And that was one of the tougher tourneys. That was one of the more crowded tourneys, a lot of good teams. And they had a great resume throughout the day, beating good teams all the way to that finals spot where they were down one game going into the finals. They won game one, forced that final game, and were just a few points away from picking up that ring. I like that one.
He's had great tourneys with Andrew. He's had great tourneys with Kearney. So I feel like Darlin is just a great die player. He really just, he catches a lot of tough dice. I feel like, people might sleep on his defense because, you might not know. I was watching some plays with Troy the other day. Man, like, Darlin, just looking back at what you did last season, he has a whole book of plays. Like, so, shout out to Darlin, and, hopefully he can find himself a partner and he can lock in and get himself a ring this season.
Yeah, it's easily got to be the hottest free agent on the market this year.
For sure.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who Darling ends up teaming up with. Maybe it's a vet. Maybe he pulls in a rookie that could shake up the league even more. So it'll be very interesting to see. I'm looking forward to that. Well, boys, though, I appreciate you giving us your time this morning. We're just a few months away from season 6. I know you guys are itching to get back out there. It's only a matter of time.
Dying to do it, man. Thinking about it.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you guys.
Have a good night.
One.
Hey, same to you.
We're now going to bring in one of our rising stars in the league. This guy joined late last season, and he started making some noise right away, right off the bat. So let's welcome John Coco. John, how we doing?
How's it going, Coco?
I'm wonderful. How we doing, boys?
Chilling, my guy.
Hey, man.
Great to see you.
Appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
So we're just a few months away. Wanted to have you on and kind of get some of those opinions and takes that maybe a rising star in this league might have. So just want to ask you a couple questions while you're here, and we'll have fun with it.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
My first question here is, who is the toughest player in the league to guard? in your opinion? Who do you think the toughest player to guard is?
Oh man, so just watching, I gotta say, Rochi. I didn't play against him, but that throw's crazy. That throw's impossible to track. That shit goes nuts. But in terms of who I played against, Denal's pretty good. He's got some good tosses. I believe I played against Kearney, and he's got some crazy throws too. So the two of them got some tough die to track there.
I like that. What about defensively? Who do you think is the hardest player for you to get a die by?
I mean, when I played Lang and J. Rich. I mean, that's the easy answer. But we got a lucky bounce plunk that was our only points of the game. We had some great tosses, and they just went nowhere.
Hey,
it's just they got mitts over there.
That happens to a lot of the teams that go up against Lang and J. Rich, right? You find out the hard way that J. Rich has been a defensive player of the year.
Absolutely, yeah. No, it's not all talk with them. They show up, for sure.
I like how Coco's also scouting, right? So he said, I didn't play Roach, but I see his toss. It's like Kareem. So, he already knows off of watching the game that he doesn't, feel like that's an easy toss to play against. And I feel like that's true, right? When you have someone throwing the dice irregularly, it might, make you think, oh, where's this guy going to bounce?
Oh, yeah.
I have no idea. So I like how you said that as well. You're scouting other players without even playing them. So that's cool.
Oh, for sure.
All right, I got another question for you. What is your favorite part about being in the UDL? I know it took you a little bit to join. You might have been aware of it. You had some buddies in the league.
Yep.
After you joined, what's your favorite part about being in the league?
Yeah, so I definitely have to say my favorite part is the camaraderie, but not only that, it's the support. That was one of the reasons I was skeptical on joining first, is because I know it's a highly competitive league, and I play die for fun, so I was worried about coming in and destroying the love for the game just with highly competitive people, but the fact that the players in this league balance competitiveness with camaraderie very well. Coming off the table, I mean, if you look at my stats, I didn't do a lot of winning last year. So coming off the table after a lot of losses, that can be pretty disappointing. But yeah, especially special shout-outs to Shmerda and J. Rich, because the two of you guys, really showed me some support after some tough losses. So getting that from all the guys is definitely my favorite part.
No, of course, man. I definitely agree with you as well because, if you look at my past, I don't win a lot. Shmerda's not known for winning every tourney that he comes to, right? There's been plenty of tourneys where I was 0-2, and I feel like people still make you feel like involved and you still want to stay because it's just fun and everyone is having a good time. And I feel like that's the best part of the tourney is that we're all there to have a good time at the end of the day.
That's it.
Even though we're all trying to win, we're all here to just, play some die and just drink a couple of beers and just chill with the guys for a little bit. So.
No, for sure. It's a great balance. Gotta love it.
All right, this one's a good one. Let me get a bold take for you next season. What's a bold take for your season that you're going to have coming up in season 6?
Bold take.
Bold take. Me and Jake Whalen are taking 2 belts this year. We're taking 2 belts. We're coming in this year. We're ready to win. We came in late. Everyone was already ready to go. They'd already been in a few tourneys. We came in late, ran into some hot teams, but this year we're coming in trying to get some gold for sure.
I love it.
You heard it here first.
And let me tell you something. If you guys come into this year and you do what you are, if you hit your goals, then you guys will definitely be en route for MIPs, right? And definitely be en route for awards too. So when you have that success, I feel like the awards are coming as well. So, I love the fact that you guys were putting in the work last year because every year is like a building block. And I've seen plenty of teams just get better and better with every single season. So like you said, I'm happy that you guys have goals and hopefully, you guys can reach those goals and just build upon them and just continue to get better in the league.
Yeah, that's definitely what we're going for, And like you mentioned the MIP, the individual accolades, those are, that's cool and all, but we want to win. For sure. We want to win some games, get some belts.
I love it.
That's the mindset right there.
I love it.
All right, my last question for you is, give me some advice, or not me, give someone out there that might be skeptical or on the fence about joining UDL. What's your biggest advice to those people?
Good question.
Just got to rip the Band-Aid off for sure, man. It's if you're scared of the competitiveness or anything like that, I mean, you're right. It's gonna come in. It's gonna be competitive, but it's such a great time at the end of the day. Like I came back for the playoffs and everything. I wasn't in it or anything, but it's just all the guys are, great time. Everyone has fun, and it's a great way to enjoy the game of die. If you love the game, there's no reason not to be part of this.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I feel that's a great way to look at it as well, because when you're on the inside, you start to realize like it's not intimidating coming to these tourneys. But I tell Troy all the time, imagine if you've never been to a tourney and you were to look at the highlight reel. We show everyone the best players.
Yeah.
And this looks very, intimidating. But at the end of the day, for us, when you're already involved, those are just your friends. And you start to become familiarized with everyone and everyone in the league. And it just becomes such a community that you forget how competitive it was or how intimidating it was when you were watching the highlights on your phone, because you're a part of it now. And now, you're intimidating people, right? You're a part of the league.
That's the goal, man. I'm trying.
Coco, we really appreciate your time today. Yeah. I know everyone at home will be rooting for you next season. I know I'll be rooting for you.
Appreciate that.
Season 6 coming up soon. Get your reps in, and let's get ready to go.
Nice. Thank you.
Absolutely. Look forward to seeing you boys.
Welcome back in from the commercial break. Now, we talk a lot about our 8-time UDL champions, Lang and J-Rich, and they've had a very storied career together as a team. They've both won many awards, many accolades. They've had many all-star appearances, multiple championships, and final runs. So I want to know, who's the better player? I mean, stats and accolades aside, who is the better die player? So let's bring on 2 of our UDL all-stars. Let's bring on JT Bain and Michael Beretti. How are you guys doing?
What's up, boys?
We're back, fellas. We're back.
Thanks for having us.
You heard the question. Who is the better player? I don't want to hear stats or accolades. Put that stuff aside. Who is the better die player, Langa or J-Rich?
It's Langa, 100%. I'm sorry, guys.
100%.
100%. Just because I don't know anything that J-Rich particularly does way better than Langa. You know what I'm saying? And Langa is the FIFA guy there. He's just as good defensively. He scores a shit ton of points. So, I mean, it's kind of hard to not pick the guy that's the MVP every year and has the most points and does all this. There's just not much that J-Rich does a lot better than Langa does that really separates him to be the best player.
Okay. What do you have to say about that, JT?
I think it's J-Rich, and they're both first ballot Hall of Famers, Mount Rushmore, everything. Not taking anything away from Langa, but J-Rich as a raw die player, it's J-Rich. Langa gets the attention from UDL because he's flashy. You know his little celebration he does shooting the arrows, the smack he talks to everybody. It's a little more... it's more entertaining. It gets the eye for UDL. But if you're talking about raw talent, it's J-Rich. J-Rich is a guy who gets down and dirty. He's by the eye, by the stats. He's way better defensively. I wouldn't say way better, but definitely the better defensive player out of them. And J-Rich has won an all-star tourney without Langa. And Langa's a 5-time all-star. And he's never done anything in his career until he got J-Rich. That's when Langa started winning. J-Rich came in the league, started winning. And I think that just proves that J-Rich is, like, when it comes down to it, who you want on your side to, like, save the world in a die game, I'm taking J-Rich.
All right, you sure you don't want to choose Andre Iguodala?
It's tough to say he's way better defensively because, I mean, Lang is still a 4-time defensive second team. It's not like he's not a defender, you know what I'm saying? He still gets down and dirty just as much as J-Rich does. He scores more, though, I would think, and he FIFAs more, which I would say contributes more offensively. I think if you're going to say he's way better defensively, I'll say he's way better offensively.
Yeah, you definitely can argue that, but I think in tough times when they're in battles, I think J-Rich is the person that calms the team down. He's like, hey, Lang, focus. Let's get into it. Like, we're here, even if we're down and everything. And also, Birdie, unfortunately, I'm going to use your own quote against you, that Jay Rich with the butt is the best player in UDL history. So I think when it comes down to it, I think Jay Rich, with any other elite partner, can fit seamlessly, whether it's offensively or defensively. Obviously, Lang is, like I said, Mount Rushmore, one of the GOATs. But I'm taking it as a just straight.
So what would
player.
separate him? What would separate him that is just, it's just telling where he would be the best? What separates the both of them?
Yeah, I don't think Langa's offense is. I think Jay Rich's offense is a lot closer to Langa's offense than Langa's defense is to Jay Rich's.
Okay, I got
Like
you.
I said, and Lang is underrated defensively. When Langa needs to get down and dirty, he does. But that's just Jay Rich's job, and Jay Rich don't miss table. Langa gives.
Maybe
up,
that's why Jay Rich is known for it though, because that's his job. Like that's his job. That's what he's known for.
And his job is to carry a lot more load than Langa does. That's what it sounds like.
I don't know about that. It's not what the stats and the accolades say. Numbers don't lie, baby. Numbers don't lie.
They don't. Jay Rich has been in the MVP conversation every single year. Has been in the DPOY conversation every year, and should be in the OPOY conversation every year too.
The other 2 years, Langa didn't win MVP. Wasn't he the runner-up? Didn't he come in second place? Even when he wasn't winning, he was the second best player, and now he's just winning them every year.
Like I said, I think that has to do with his flashiness, his charisma, his little celebrations, everything. Jay Rich shows up with the 12, comes to play die. It's a business trip for Jay Rich, and what he does is
it is a business
what he
trip.
does is win. What he does is win.
We appreciate you guys for coming on here and sharing your takes with us today on one of the most, controversial questions I feel that is in the UDL. So you guys did great choosing a side, and hopefully everyone at home was able to choose a side too. And then maybe that brings some fuel to the tourney, and we'll see these arguments in the tourney like at a barbershop.
Maybe they'll leave each other.
A little Rocco D Hall moment from 2021.
Yep, that's what we're hoping for, baby. Just don't play with each other anymore.
Crazy. Wouldn't we all hope that, huh? Well, boys, appreciate you guys for coming on today. Really appreciate your answers, and we'll see you in just a few short months.
Take care, guys.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. UDL the finest, guys. Thank you.
All right, everyone, it's time to check out our top 10 plays of the season.
Yeah.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready for these top 10 plays, man, and let's get right into it. All right, at number 10, we have Cameron Roach versus Langa and Jay Rich. Let's go. Lang with the toss. Cam. Ooh, let's go, Cam. Give me that dice. That's that viral play we saw on Instagram. Nice slow-mo there.
Coming in at number 9, Tourney 6, 5 Monde, Reno, Brandon. FIFA by Brandon and a snag by Reno. Let's take a look at that slow-mo. Pure concentration from Reno. They go on to win the game 10-8.
Here we have at number 8, Umbi and Bigar against Joe and Denal. Wow. Let's see this again. How did he catch that dice? Oh, a little ricochet action there. A little ball though. I love it. Umbi and Bigar going to win that game.
Play number 7. We got Joe and Denal going up against Lang and Jay Rich. How about this FIFA snag by Denal? Jay Rich can't believe it. Nice beat by Joe and a Superman snag by Denal. Great play right there. Jay Rich's reaction, cannot believe it.
Coming in at number 6, we have Tourney 3 Elimination Game 5 and Kamande versus Hassan Lucas. What a FIFA and what a better snag. How do those bushes taste? Let's go, Hass. Slow-mo is amazing. Looks like Odell Beckham on that catch.
Coming in at number 5, it's Tourney 2, the finals. We got Umbi and Bigar and Cam and Roach. How about that snag by Cam? Full extension. Reaches that hand in there. Barely pulls the dice in. Crazy play.
Coming in at number 4, we have Cameron Roach versus Denal and Mark. Oh my gosh, everyone remembers this one. Hit every single part of his body. Let's see this again. Let's see it again. Off the hand, off the hand, off the leg. Amazing catch. Denal and Mark go on to win this game.
Coming in at number 3, it's turning 2 once again. How about this play by Noah Mazzilli? Rocco with a nice kick, but Zilli, better catch. I couldn't believe it in real time. I still can't believe it. Crazy play by Zill.
Coming in at number 2, we have Tourney 8 Finals, Umbi and Bigard versus Rocco and Zill. Everyone remembers this play. He's going airborne. Rocco flying in, almost hurting himself. Megan is scared. But man, what a catch. Umbi and Bigard go on to win this game, unfortunately.
And finally, it is the number 1 play of the 2023 UDL season. Tourney 6. We all remember that snag by Rochi. That is one of the craziest plays we have ever seen in the league. A nice kick by Cam. Rochi, full extension, pulls the dice in, walks it off. Unfortunately, they go on to lose the game. Wow, so there you have it. There are your top 10 plays of the season.
Amazing.
Smart, some of the best plays we've seen ever.
Yeah, some of the best plays I've seen ever, and that's just one season of dives. So you guys can imagine how many clips we have at home, and you guys just have to stick around because there might be some more top 10s coming up on our next UDL TVs.
Well, boys, that's all we have for you today. We appreciate you for watching. Stay tuned for more content going up on the page, up on our YouTube, the new updates we're doing on our website. And like I've said all episode, Tourney 6, only a few months away. Get ready.